I got started into making jewelry and beaded jewelry, my dad was a jewelry maker. He actually owned a jewelry shop where he made and sold jewelry for a little while when I was growing up. He was certified silversmith and a master silversmith, a master goldsmith, and he had a jewelry trademark. There's people that I have run into in town over the years who have showed me the rings and the bracelets and the pendants and just all sorts of earrings, all sorts of stuff that my dad made, which is really cool, you know. So when I was little, we lived in a lot of different places because Dad moved over to construction, and you got to follow a construction company. We would go down to the beaches and we would get seashells, and he would drill them, or my brothers would drill them, and we would make jewelry. And, you know, I remember my mom wearing these real pretty kind of pink, cascading pink seashells for earrings, and a matching necklace, and a bracelet that had tinier seashells as charms. And it was real pretty. And so Dad would make a whole bunch of that, and he taught us kids how to do it. And, you know, I have very fond memories of sitting at the kitchen table making jewelry with Dad. And he taught Mom. And he would make this jewelry and he would package it real pretty. And, you know, Dad always had like little side businesses. He'd have all his paperwork. He'd have his little notebook and his binder and his folders and keeping track of everything, and he'd go and sell it. And when my mom was, you know, because we were born before Medicaid or any of that, so Dad paid for all of us kids. And one of the ways he helped pay for us was making and selling jewelry. And so, and, you know, they made rosaries. My mom made rosaries. Her dad taught her. He was a devout Catholic, and my mom was for a long time. And my grandpa, I have fond memories of sitting in my grandpa's work shed, work garage, and he'd put me up on the workbench, and we would make rosaries, and those are my happy memories. And so when my mom was pregnant with my baby sister, we would sit at the kitchen table, and my dad would come in with all these cute little packages, and we're going to make jewelry today. And where we was at, it was just raining real bad all the time. It was just like rainy weather was the norm. And so instead of being outside running around, we're at the table making jewelry, and my mom's crocheting or knitting, and we had a lot of happy times. And so my dad taught us kids how to do that. And as time went by, you know, he sold enough jewelry and some of the other things that he was doing, like making cabinets and dressers and just all sorts of things. I mean, my dad could make baby cribs and baby bassinets with those little rockers, you know, and you got a rocker here and a rocker there, and the bedding, and it would rock back and forth. He made a lot of those, and it helped pay for my baby sister to be born, which I always thought was pretty cool. You know, I'm real proud of my dad. He always found a way to take care of us. And so he taught us those things, you know. So as I was growing up, we'd make jewelry for ourselves. We'd make jewelry for Christmas presents for people. relatives. We would make jewelry for birthday gifts, anniversaries. Dad would come in and say, "Well, we're making the so and so's are having a anniversary, and we're going to make them this real pretty matching set." And you know, so when I was a teenager, I liked to go to yard sales, and I'd save some of my babysitting money, and I'd find pieces of jewelry, and I'm like, "Oh, well, these, well, that's busted. The clasp was busted. I'll sell it to you for 5 cents." So I gathered up all this jewelry, and I repurposed it, and I had new pieces of jewelry. So as the years went by, I was constantly like creating my own stuff, and I'd get kind of bored with something that I had bought, and I would just redo it. So at one point, I had enrolled into a school to learn, to become certified jewelry designer, jewelry creator, and maker. And I I went through that school. It was like a mail order type of school. You did all your work, and then on Fridays you called and you took the test over the phone, and you mailed in. I actually mailed in pieces of jewelry that I had put together, and I had, design this, design that. That was the assignment, and I'd mail it in. So I got certified. Um, I lost my certification in the mail, so I don't have that paper anymore. And so I don't remember the name of the school, or I'd get me a new paper. So this is how I started with making jewelry. It was like kind of like a family tradition, and we had lots of fun and memories. When I had my kids, I couldn't wait until they got old enough, and we sat at the kitchen table, and I'm teaching them how to string beads, and how to open and close jump loops, and how to attach the earring hooks and the clasps, and we made a lot of jewelry just for ourselves, and um, we we had a lot of fun. And when my oldest was a baby, I tried selling it. I lived in a different state and a different city, so the rules were different there. So I was going to school, I was working, I was doing all these things. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to devote to it, but I did make some extra money selling the jewelry I made. And my mom one day says, "Your niece, she's having a hard time. Why don't you just give her all this stuff, show her how to do it so she can go and sell it," and because she had a baby. So I'm like, well, okay. So we did that, and at one point, she just swiped all my stuff. So, trying to help out family. So that kind of ended my jewelry making there. And then as the years went by, work and kids and family and things, I just kind of like tabled, having a jewelry store and all of this. The first time I tried to sell on eBay, I didn't really understand. I was trying to learn and this and that, and I just quit doing that because it was just between work and everything else, and I had cancer at the time. It was just too much for me. I just let it go. So I continued to make jewelry for me, my kids, my mom, my sisters, just friends. Then one day I remarried Abel, and he said, one of his relatives complained because he had bought me some jewelry. And that's just the way he is. He likes buying jewelry for the people he loves. So you're spending too much money on her and this and that. So I'm like, let's go to Walmart, let's go to Hobby Lobby, let's go to Michael's craft store, let's see what they got. Well, Walmart was having a sale, so I got some stuff. And we made up a bunch of jewelry, and he goes, oh, these are really pretty, these are really pretty. I didn't really know you knew how to do this. And so he's like, make some more, just like that necklace you just made. So I made some more. He went and sold them, and he sold them for $5, and we had enough to go get tacos for dinner. So then I got injured real bad and ended up having to walk on a walker. And he's like, well, even before that, we had tried to start a jewelry company, and we had tried to, because when he was in high school, he was with FMC selling rings and things like that. I traded some of my earrings that I made to him for a ring I really wanted. So, we've known each other a very long time. So in high school, we did a trade. And so that was pretty cool. So he's like, let's start this company. And I'm like, are you sure? Because everybody's like, oh, we love the jewelry and this and that. So we got all of our paperwork put together, and we started working on it, and made up a bunch of jewelry. And the first year we made maybe $250, and then the second year we made maybe $300. And so we just kept working at it, selling on Facebook and selling person to person. Hey, my wife made those earrings she's wearing, and I have a copy. I had another pair in the car. Would you like them? And I've had people come up to me and just, oh, I love those earrings, and they just buy them right off of me. I just take them out of my ears. Well, here you go, and they hand me some money. And my husband's like, wow, you just sold the earrings that you're wearing. I said, yeah, no, we need to go home and make some more. And we sold every one of those too. And we've had a lot of fun making jewelry. And I started a new eBay account, because the other one I had just let it go, and years went by. So I put it on eBay, I put it on Facebook, and we just worked with that. I got real sick with that brain tumor, and it was making things harder. I was going from, 20-30 minutes to put together some earrings to almost an hour, because something was wrong. I was having trouble seeing. And come to find out, I was going blind in my right eye because the tumor was damaging everything. And we didn't know it until they found the tumor. So that's the major thing that really made a difference in my beading journey. So they told me not to be making jewelry anymore. I could go blind. So I don't believe that, but I went down and closed out the DBA for it was Creations by Vasquez. We had started, and everybody was like, oh wow, yeah, do it. We went to a crafting show 2-3 times, and my husband was like, oh, we just keeping at it, you know and a lot of people were like, oh yeah, we won't buy this, we won't buy that. And I was started making rosaries, and this one guy's like, oh, your rosaries are so beautiful, they're kick-ass rosaries. And he's like 80-something-year-old guy, and she makes kick-ass rosaries. And he was so tickled, and he just loved the one he got from us. And we were only selling them for $10. And everybody's like, oh, $10 is too low. Most rosaries are going for $40 and $50. And I'm like, yeah, but this is a small town, and we just wanted to keep our prices low for the people that we've known all of our lives. And so I made a lot of rosaries, and I got a lot of compliments, and